guys, welcome to the channel. Today we got something fun. If you watched last video, you will know that like the track sucked, but I got something fun to talk about today, which is some of the things that I've been sponsored for my car. So let's go into the shop and have the big reveal right now. Okay, shut up, Josh. Here it is. This is the big one. What's in the box? Oh my God, it's his Magnuson. Oh my God, look at her box. Is this it? Is this the one? Oh boy, the big fish. So for those of you wondering, this is the Magnuson 2650. It is the version that fits under your factory hood on your TL1. So the TL1 is getting 2650. Oh my God, look how big that inlet is. Holy shit. And then this should be the snout, and this is for the 103. Oh, there's a pulley in there that I just dropped. Okay, we're gonna have to put this on a table somewhere because that's huge. Look how big that thing is. You know what? We're gonna have a really cool comparison because we have all the superchargers here today. We have the Whipple here, we have the Magnuson here, and we also have the new Edelbrock here. So we're gonna look at them side by side. Probably not gonna disassemble them because that's a lot of work, but we're going to definitely take a look at them side by side and see the differences, at least the exterior differences between them all. What do you want?
Oh, look, new supercharger. Gonna be enough to outrun my Mustang?
I mean, we could run your Mustang right now.
Yeah, let's go. I got a trailer hitch.
Where is it? Bring it out. I'll take mine right out of the trailer. We'll run you without that on low boost.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that the new Magnuson 5300?
5300.
Yeah, we got two.
Yeah, we got two.
Oh, okay.
2650.
Yeah, there's another one over here somewhere. Yeah, we'll put it on the dyno. Let's get that off. Josh, back to work. So while Josh is unstrapping the car, I want to give a special thanks to Magnuson Superchargers because I did get sponsored for this blower, which is wild. I guess I saw the Trail 1 and felt bad, and we're like, you know what? We'll give them a little bit extra. Truth is, it's not a full sponsorship, so I did have to pay money for this, but I got a better deal than I normally do, and I'm really thankful because, I mean, I saved some money. So thank you for helping me save money, Magnuson. I cannot wait to see the stuff that we do together because this is going to be wild. And as for the next set of things that I want to talk about, well, we got sponsored by another company a while ago, and I've been a little bit of a dickhead. Not a little bit of a dickhead, but I was waiting for my engine to blow up. So instead of waiting for that, I mean, I just had it to the track, well, in the last video, and instead of waiting for my engine to blow up and then put the 2650 on, I think it's time that we finally take advantage of the sponsorship that we got from Texas Speed for the stroker motor. It's a 416 cubic inch sleeved block that we are going to throw in my ZL1 with the 2650 at the same time, and we're going to see what kind of shenanigans we get into. Yes, we are going to go balls to the wall, like all the balls, do all the walls, and we're going to see what kind of power we make. We are most certainly going to max out the factory transmission, at least 7th gear, and I'm really excited. So special thanks to Magnuson Superchargers and Texas Speed, especially Texas Speed, who's been waiting more than a year for me to install this engine. Seth there has been fantastic. He's one of the guys I talk to for all the marketing needs, and wow, they're just a great company all around. Magnuson's a great company. I had beers down with the president of Magnuson when we were at Camaro Fest. We were problem shooting some stuff together. Oh, we got a lot of good companies here. Magnuson and Texas Speed, love them to death. They are just fantastic to work with all around. Highly recommend it. And some of the early results that I've seen from the 2650 just show that this is an incredible blower. President of Magnuson sent me certain logs from his, and the cooling is unbelievable. The factory LT4 has little itty bitty intercooler bricks, but it's also a little itty bitty blower, and so it heats up, especially when you really press it. I saw his on some serious boost, like basically ambient, just staying there, not going anywhere. So I am so excited to get this thing on and see the cooling. Even if I run the same boost level, even if I'm at the same power, it's going to hold better in the high end through the quarter mile because those intercoolers are going to be insane. So again, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you again, Magnuson. Thank you again, Texas Speed. And let's compare this to the Edelbrock, the Whipple, and maybe if we have one sitting around, we'll also compare it to the ZR1 blower, and we'll compare it to the factory LT4 blower. We got blowers galore. We'll compare 5 blowers today. That's going to be a pretty cool comparison. Okay, so just like that, I lied. We are not going to compare the factory LT4, at least not off the car. I do have the Magnuson, the LT5, the Edelbrock, and the Whipple, and we're going to look at them right now. So starting off, we're looking at the Magnuson 2650. This one is for my car. I put the snout on. You can see how it's a big boy. Like if if you look in here, the rotors are huge. You probably can't see it because it's a little dark, but they're huge. They are legit huge. Now, some of the things that I like about the Magnuson, besides that it has 2 feeds on each side so you don't really lose flow, it has a fast-acting intake air temperature sensor, and it's also in the airflow, which is huge. That is one of the limitations of the factory LT4 and LT5 blowers, that their sensor is just, it's not in the airflow. You do not get a proper temperature reading because of it. Now, this one does have the map sensor in the back. You can see that the factory system will go here, and what we'll do is we'll end up using a breakout harness and swinging it all the way around to the front here so we can get a good intake air manifold air temperature reading. Here's the Edelbrock, here's the Whipple, and here's the factory LT5 blower. So size should be accurate. So this Magnuson here is powered by Eaton's 2650 rotor. That's what's in the ZR1, and it's also what is in the Edelbrock. So let's move on to the Edelbrock. The Edelbrock, this one's done by Kong here. He ports the Edelbrocks. Is a nice piece. Obviously, it's a bit more compact than the Magnuson, but it does have some really nice features to it. The Edelbrock actually has 3 intercoolers, 1 in the center and 2 on the sides. So it's a dual pass intercooler setup. Also, the system here can use the factory boost control solenoid, so you can limit the boost because it has a 2-pass system as opposed to the 1 on the Magnuson. And I think the thing that I really like the most about this is that the map sensor is right here, so it is in the airflow as well, so you should get a good reading. A lot of you guys are probably like, what the hell is he talking about the map sensor? Well, I'm going to get to that when we get to the LT5 blower. The Edelbrock is also set up for port injection. This one's not drilled out and ready for it, but it does have port injection, which neither the Whipple or the Magnuson have ready to go, although I am told there is lots of room on both, and we know that the Whipple does do it. Moving on, we have the Whipple Supercharger here. This one is using the same style boost control solenoid as the Magnuson, so it completely gets rid of the factory boost control solenoid, and the Whipple's a nice piece. This is powered by a 2.9 liter rotor pack. It's deceiving because even though those are 2.65, this is a bigger rotor pack, but it's a different design, so it doesn't exactly work the same. The Whipple is a twin screw versus Roots. So on the back side, you can see that the Whipple has the factory map sensor, which is the integrated IT. This only protrudes to about here, so it's not really in the airflow. So you're not exactly getting a true IT reading, but I can tell you from experience here, let's straighten that out, the Whipple does get a much better reading, or at least it performs a lot better on that IAT sensor than any factory LT4 blower. It has massive cooling. In fact, I expect all of these to have massive cooling. The Edelbrock, again, having quite a bit of intercooler space, and then there's some massive bricks in here for cooling, so looking really forward to the Magnuson and what it does on my car. So you can see on the Whipple, there's not really any provision for port injection as well. It's just something that people are adding aftermarket-wise, unlike the Edelbrock, and Magnuson will probably have to drill through as well. So here we go, the big boy LT5 Supercharger. Now this one is ported by Kong. There's some really cool stuff in here. I'm going to tell you right now that one of the coolest things about the LT5 Supercharger is that it does have port injection from the factory. One of the downfalls is through here there are some electronics that go in there, because instead of having the conventional vacuum actuated bypass valve, the LT5 uses a throttle body. The factory LT5 throttle body is this. It is like a truck throttle body that's set to idle open as opposed to close, unlike this. I think this is also the LT5 throttle body. This is the blower throttle body. This is the actual throttle body that goes on the snout. Now this guy here does have the Kong Performance adapter to go to a 112, so this thing should run pretty well. The one thing that I don't really like about this is that the map sensor, which also has the intake air temperature on it, look at this. This is just like what it does on the factory LT4, is it is way out of the way. So unless you're in boost, this thing is not getting a very good temperature reading. It's stupid, just stupid. And this down here is like your snout pressures and shit like that. So it would be awesome if it was in here, but GM decided to put it out of the airflow. Don't know why, but it is what it is. Now, this does have two intercooler bricks, one that rests on this side, one that rests on that side, so you do have a dual feed. The LT5 comes with two intercooler pumps from the factory. It has a heat exchanger in the center, and then one on each side, and once it separates from the center, it goes to its own pump and then back in. It's pretty wild. The LT5 supercharger, the Edelbrock supercharger, and the Magnuson supercharger all share the same rotor pack, which is that 2650. So all very cool. The Whipple supercharger being a twin screw, only, well, it gets a 2.9 liter, so it's a 2900 if you will, but it doesn't have the same potential as the other guys. This is a 950,000 real horsepower kind of build here, and these guys are 11, 12, 1300. Like they're up there. We're gonna find out. It should be pretty cool until my transmission blows up. So for the Magnuson installation, you have to cut your valve covers up. It's not that hard. There's a section that's like raised up. It's really useless. I mean, it's not useless. Let me show you on my Corvette real quick. So the valve cover, you're gonna get rid of these guys. It holds the coil pack in place. You have to relocate your coil packs a little bit, but you're gonna cut this section off in order to fit the wide ass Magnuson blower. The others, you do not have to do that. Now I am expecting that by doing that and having that overhang with the giant intercooler brick, I mean, it is huge. Just look how much intercooler is in there, that we will have the best cooling on this guy. The rest of them, I just feel like are a little too compact to have like the same amount of cooling. Not that they're going to do bad, because all of them are going to do way better than the factory, but I've seen logs from this because the president of Magnuson was sending it to me, and it was just like, what the hell, you're running that much boost and the temperatures are barely moving. I'm like, are you logging the right sensor? And he's like, yeah. I double checked his work, and he was. And very impressed with the cooling on this. Even at high boost, the cooling on this, it's going to be obscene. I cannot wait to get this on my car. And then the Kong Performance Edelbrock here also has good cooling. I think that one of the things that we're going to look into is the limit of flow on this, but I am expecting great things from this guy as well. The Whipple, we kind of already know where it kind of maxes out at. We're looking forward to getting it done on the Andrew build that we're talking about. That's actually from this car. And then this guy is ported by Kong as well, and going on the ZR1, and we are expecting some really good power. Fantastic blowers. We are a dealer for all of them. I have my money on the Magnuson being the best performer of them all here, but I mean, I guess we'll see. Oh, I lied. I'm not a dealer for Edelbrock. Not yet. Maybe when they see this video, they'll be like, yeah, we should, or maybe they're like, hey, you said that the Magnuson's better. Maybe we shouldn't. But I do think that they're all good. So let's recap the pros and cons of each of them. The Magnuson probably is going to have the best cooling out of all of them. Has a breakout IAT. You do have to do a little bit more work to get it on the car. So the pros is that it's probably going to be the best performer, but the con is need a little bit more TLC to get it on the car. Oh, and another con is that it is not set up right away for port injection, but I am told by the president of Magnuson that on your Camaro, you can definitely get port injection on. The next step, the Edelbrock 2650, a little bit more compact. I think that the cooling is going to be great on it. I don't think it's going to be better than the Magnuson. The same rotor pack. I think that these two are going to be very similar in terms of performance. This feeds 3 different bricks. I'm curious if that makes any difference here, and it is set up for port injection. This will be able to do port injections a bit easier than the Magnuson or the Whipple, which the Whipple is a little bit older style of a rotor. This is their 5th generation of the Whipple 2.9 now. I think this one's the 5th. It could be the 4th, but they're on the 5th right now. This does perform. It does have excellent cooling. It does have bigger intercooler bricks in it. Does a great job. I think that technology has improved using the 2650 rotor pack, so I feel like the Whipple, well, it's a very good deal, and it's probably the best bang for your buck supercharger, because you can get them for like $5,000 as an upgrade, and there is room for port injection, but it is not like ready to go on it. And finally, the LT5, unless you have the Corvette ZR1, I probably wouldn't waste your time doing this, because it will be a bitch to get going. You'll have to use a standalone to get going, because the standalone's the only thing that's going to control that internal throttle body bypass valve and the port injection. Whew, it'll be interesting. But for those of you who are doing it, and I have seen a couple of you doing it with the Kong Performance porting, I have seen some really excellent gains, so that's awesome. So recapping, I think I've covered the pros and cons of each of these, and swapping each of them onto your LT4 blowered car, and compared to a factory blower, they should all have a massive improvement, especially in cooling, which just because number-wise it only puts down like X amount over a factory LT4 blower doesn't tell the whole story, because the cooling makes a huge difference. When you're going down the track and generating all that heat, the cooler you can be, the more power you're going to make in the high end. You'll see more mile per hour than say the 50 rear wheel horsepower we've seen on this over factory. You'll see way more mile per hour on that Ripple than the 50 horsepower would suggest. So I hope this is informative. And again, I want to thank Magnuson for sending me this bad boy. I cannot wait to get it on the car. We are going to combine it with the stroker motor from Texas Speed finally and see what kind of ridiculous numbers we can do. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this comparison of the blowers, and I'll see you next time.